Alright, have you ever been to a restaurant and ordered baby back ribs and wondered how they were able to keep them so tender and juicy? I'm going to teach you a foolproof, easy way to cook baby back ribs in the oven. They'll come out tender and juicy every time. The ingredients you're going to need, I got all this stuff at Dominic's. You got Sweet Baby Ray's original barbecue sauce, $4.29 a bottle. You got Tony Chachere's Creole seasoning, $3.29 a bottle. And tin foil. I prefer to get the heavy duty non-stick. Doesn't stick to the rib when you pull it out of the oven. And of course your baby back ribs. I get the pork baby back ribs. They're $3.99 a pound. Average rack runs you from $10 to $15. Alright, so the first thing you want to do is rinse your ribs and wash your hands. Now is also a good time to preheat the oven. Already done that. It's at 275 degrees. Once you get your hands washed, you want to cut the rib out of the package and rinse them. Just get any excess, blood or liquid or whatever's in the package off of them. Once they're rinsed, you can use a towel or a paper towel to help dry the ribs. Normally just drip dry them or leave them in the sink for a little while. Once they're good and dry, you're going to want to wrap them in tin foil. You need a sheet of tin foil that's about twice as long as each half rack of ribs. A nice good square. You place the rib in the center of the sheet. And you're going to want to season it with the Tony Chachere's. Tony Chachere's comes with a perforated lid, which makes it easy to apply the seasoning. It's about a half a teaspoon per side of the half a rack. And once they're seasoned, we'll wrap them real tight in the foil. Wrapping them in the foil is what keeps the moisture in while they're cooking in the oven, and that's what keeps the rib tender and moist. It's the trick to cooking ribs in the oven. You do the same exact thing with the other half a rack. Same size sheet. Half a teaspoon of Chachere's on either side. Just a nice even spread. And you can season them to taste. Tony Chachere's gives it a little spice. And when you use the barbecue sauce on later on, you get a nice even flavor. It's a sweeter sauce with a spicy seasoning. Same thing, wrap it nice and tight. Some people like to double wrap them, but when you get the heavy duty foil, normally you don't have to. Just make sure you didn't get any punctures in the side from the bone of the rib or anything. Now I've already got the oven at 275 degrees. I place the ribs on the center oven rack. You're going to want to cook them in the oven for 2 hours and 15 minutes. I already prepared a sample ahead of time. Once the ribs come out, you're going to want to apply the barbecue sauce. So I take the Sweet Baby Ray's, and it's about a half a cup per half a rack of rib. Just get a nice even spread across. Just a thin covering of barbecue sauce. You don't want too much. So you can take the rib off of the foil. It makes it a little easier. Gonna do that now. I'm gonna cover both sides. Once you get a nice even spread of barbecue sauce across both sides, it's time to cut them, get them ready to be served. I always use a fork, get a fresh knife. I always use a fork to help cut the rib because it'll hold the meat together. If you use a serrated knife, it cuts the flesh a little better. If you use a flat bladed knife, it tries to tear the meat instead of just slicing through it. So you just cut through each rib. Cut nice and easy and slow. If you try to force it, it'll rip the meat. You won't get a nice even cut. The rib will fall apart. Once you cut them all up, you're ready to serve. And that's it. That's an easy, foolproof way to cook ribs in the oven. They'll come out perfect every time.